everybody, welcome back to Moving Tempest, and today's video I'm going to be presenting the medieval Scapini Tarot. And the medieval Scapini Tarot is published by US Game Systems Inc. Show you sort of side of the box. From the box itself, the intricate and elegant design of the medieval Scapini tarot deck captures the artistic splendour of the Middle Ages and the Renaissance. The major and minor arcana hold clues to life's hidden meanings in the symbolism, style and settings beautifully rendered by Luigi Scapini. So you can see, basically, let's get all the usual gubbins out of the way. Standard box, as you can see. This one I've actually had to tape across the bottom because UK post it came through and the edges had been somewhat slammed. So anyway, that's the back of the box. This is the front of the box. Standard. Nothing fancy about it. So then, on to little white book. Standard little white book. So in the front of the book you've got a little bit of, let's come up to screen, a little bit of blurb about the Scapini. We have the introduction to the tarot, which you usually find standard anyway. In the back of the book, as you'll usually find, we have the Celtic cross spread. And then, just to give you sort of an idea of the amount of blurb you can find in the book, this is for the, trying straight up, that's for the mages. So you're looking at the world, and as you can see, we have a little bit of blurb here that tells you what's actually happening within the card. Keyword meanings and keyword meanings for the reversed. So that's what you'll find for the mages. Minors, again, there we go, try and do it this way. You can see that there's not, getting some glare, not an awful lot of blurb. So there you're looking at the Three of Wands. So again, you've got sort of the little blurb about what's happening in the card. Keyword meanings here for the divinatory meanings for upright and reversed. So there you go. I don't think there's anything really that would stand out from this little book as being unusual, so let's move on from that. As part of the deck you get the I guess the introductory card, as you can see, and then you get the card that gives you a little bit of blurb from the artist's perspective, I suppose, about the artist. So that's that. Now then, back of the cards are very pretty, not overwhelming, will work no matter which way up the card is. You're not going to see what the reversals are, and they're quite interesting cards in that even though they're not gilded as such, I don't know whether you can tell because I'm filming outdoors, it looks metallic in places, and this camera is not doing these cards any justice whatsoever. But anyway, let's move on. What I am going to say is this deck is quite a curious deck, really, for a number of reasons. The first reason being that if you go to order this deck pre-2007, the card quality had, I suppose, they were quite heavily laminated. Ooh, just trying to show you, they were quite heavily laminated. Apparently, from what I've researched, decks produced after 2007 were less heavily laminated, and people found that the cards weren't as durable. So that's just a point to know if you decide to order this deck. Pre-2007 cards, more lamination. After 2007, the lamination becomes less. So there we go. Now then, this deck has beautiful imagery. That's undeniable. The imagery in the cards is beautiful. Again, this deck seems to acquire a range of reviews from different people. So, you're currently looking at the Fool card, and again, I don't know whether you can sort of see this sort of metallic. I'll try and bend the card somewhat and try to pick up the metallic. It's not a gilding. The images do look as though they're sort of embossed into this metallic background, and I don't think you're going to be able to see it on camera. Flipping Nora, even though I'm sort of twisting and turning, I don't know. So, as I was saying, this deck gets mixed reviews. I have seen everything from people saying they get a really bad vibe from the deck, so they won't use it anymore, all the way through to absolutely loving the deck, so much so that they have bought, sorry about noise, so much so that they have bought a second deck. So, why is there such a range in view of the deck? And it all boils down to the imagery itself, and I'm going to show you. So, let's try and do this in such a way that you can see. I'm just going to flick through the mages. You have, obviously, the Fool. Let's flip them over that way. This is the Magician. Beautiful artistry. I'm going to try and move in so that you can see a little better. Let me see if I can tilt the card somewhat so that you're not getting glare. How's that coming out on screen? It's a shame because I don't think you're actually getting to see just how fantastic the artistry is. The camera isn't doing these cards the justice that they deserve. But let's carry on. So, let's keep moving. So here we go. Absolutely beautiful. The Empress. More fingers and thumbs today. Now you're probably looking at these mages and thinking, well, you know what? I can't see anything that I would take as, what's the word I'm looking for, that would give you a bad vibe. But wait till we get to the minors. So I'm going to show you. Personally, I don't get a bad vibe from these cards. I actually think the artistry is very humorous in places. So let's go through. I'm trying to do this in such a way that I'm not taking forever. And I don't know whether you can sort of see if I pull in a little bit and wait for the camera to focus. There is all sorts of little bits and pieces going on within this card. The more you look, the more you see. This is the Death card, which I think is absolutely superb. And look at the bottom of the card. Maybe it's just my sixth sense of humour, but I find that it tickles me. Anyway, so let's keep going. This is the Devil. I adore the Devil card. Look at him. Let's try and get in on his face. Just fantastic. the tower card. Now then, I know a lot of people like to see the tower. This tower card I adore. So I'm going to try and hold it steady from the top. You can see, like in the review I did the other day, you've got this little geezer here, and when I did a review on the Hermetic Tarot I was saying look at the pose, and you can see there's all kinds of little things to look at and be interested in. I'll pull back so you can sort of see a bit more of the card. Love that card. Absolutely love that card. So, moving on. Star card. The Moon. There is so much to show you within this deck, and without taking hours to show you, I'm trying to sort of show you enough to give you a taste of what you are getting with this deck. It is just beautiful. And now I know these cards look quite dark. That's my camera, not the card itself. If I try and tilt, that's probably a better representation because of it's the metallic that's going on here. There we go. This is the world. Isn't she glorious? Look at what's going on there. Just incredibly beautiful. Once again, my camera isn't giving you brilliant lighting. Now then, so that's the majors. Now then, we're on to the minors. Okay, so King of Swords. Here we go. Trying to do it so you don't get the glare. Some people have said that they find these cards have some morbid imagery. Whether that lends to how they view it as giving a bad vibe, I'm not too sure. What I have noticed with these cards is, and others have said pretty much the same thing, is that you'll either see quite a bit of negative imagery in these cards. So I'm just flicking through the minors now. Now then, this is the 8 of Swords. So you can see guys sort of in an inquisition, and you can, if I zoom in, you can see just that table there, there's quite a bit. The surgeon's type apparatus going on, and obviously the gentleman is pinned by the swords. There is pink within this deck. They are a colourful deck, and I'm going to try and come in as far as I can. Look at the detail on the top of those swords. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Just stunning. And I'm going to try and do this. I'm not going to show you all the cards. Let me see if I can find a card that is representative of the humour going on here. I just adore it. Just adore it. And the wasp seems to adore them as well. Bye bye. We don't need you today. Sorry, it was buzzing around. Let's see if I can't find what I'm talking about. I'm just going to quickly show you some of the court cards out of the Scapini. No, we don't want glare, please. That's the lamination that's going on that's doing that. Let's go there. Absolutely stunning. Just adore them. Let's bring this one in that you can't really see very well. I adore the artistry. Look how fine the detail is there. Absolutely glorious. Now then, let me move on 10 of Wands. I'm going to come in close because, like I say, there's a lot of detail going on within these cards. There's an awful lot of humour going on with these cards, which I find is where the balance lies to some of the other imagery. Now then, this is a prime sort of, I guess, example. Okay, so we've got the 8 of Wands, and I'm going to zoom in, and you can see children playing, you can see a couple arguing and grappling away, and you can sort of see young lovers at the base of the card. Now then, people reading from this deck may be drawn to the negative imagery within these cards. So you can see this couple is sort of kicking, scratching, biting one another. And you'll find on several of the cards, your eye may well be drawn to the more negative aspects of the card imagery. Like I say, I don't know whether this is where people are sort of falling foul to this negative vibe or not. I'm not so sure. Personally, I adore these cards. And this is the Ace of Wands, so you can see, and on this particular card you can see the roping design on the edges. That's where the metallic comes in, and I suppose the background is sort of a cream colour. It's a heavy cream. It's slightly darker than what my camera's picking up, but just look, I mean let the camera focus in a bit if I can. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Please focus in. There's just so much humour going on here. It's fantastic. All the clovers. Awesome sauce. So let's go a bit further along. Let's show you some of the cups. Now the cups are really interesting in that when you start to pay attention, they're not just, you know, from this distance it might look just like there's a lot of cups there, but no, because if I can get the camera to focus in, you can see the figurines that are on these vessels are images, and they're all different. They are images of pregnant women. I'm trying to do this so that the glare of the camera isn't hitting that lamination. Let me try and tilt it a bit. I don't know whether you can see that. Oh, eek, I've got 1 minute left on my card. I might have to do this video in 2 sections. Damn, and you can see the eye there. Can you see the eye detail? Just there. Fantastic. 9 of Cups. Right, I'm just going to pause and come back. Okay, so we're back. And I was talking about the images on these vessels. Okay, so I'm going to come in again and show you, if I can, if the camera will pick it up. Really trying to do this so that you can sort of see. Oh, focus, focus, focus. There are different images, oh, damn, on these vessels. Let me try and get another card where you can sort of see it a bit better. Even the vessels themselves on some of the cards are differing. Okay, so let me try and do this in such a way that you can probably see. Right, so here on these vessels, these cups, you can see that the vessels themselves, the cups, are slightly different. There are figures doing various things. The witch, the Italian witch, with all the, let's see if I can zoom in there. Wait, that particular vessel, there we go, is filled with toys. The Befana, Italian witch, I'm probably saying that wrong, but you all know my accent. And you can see Lots of detail going on in that particular Six of Cups. Now then, again, possibly viewed as negative imagery. I'm just going to rise up. You see all the gentlemen in this particular card. Five of Cups. Let's see. I mean, it's like I say, the imagery on these cards is just glorious when you start to look at the detail. And again, the background here isn't metallic, the rope border is. Now then, look at this. This is the Two of Cups, and I want you to look, if I can get it to sort of show you without the glare. Now then, you can sort of see the imagery going on there. And there's our two characters. You can see what's going on. Now what you take from this card is personal perspective. Let's have a look at some of the coins for you. This is some of the court cards, the people cards within a deck. This is the Queen of Coins. So in this particular deck we're looking at coins. And again, we can see an awful lot of intricate, let me do it, crumbs, excuse me, intricate imagery. Ugh, this glare is driving me potty, but this is what you get when your cards are laminated, I suppose. I'm going to try and tilt it so you can see these coins. They're not the same. You see? Here we go. Let's find one where... Here we are. This is a prime example where they are not the same. Look at the imagery within those two cards, for example. I know I'm flipping around, but as you can see, each coin has something different going on within its surface, and I just love these little details. But again, I find these particular cards extremely humorous in a very cheeky way. Let's just try and get this in. Sorry for the bad lighting. Oh, lordy, lordy. Right, so those are some of the cards. Like I say, I'm not going to show you all of the cards because that would just take me forever. But let's have a look at things that most people who are into tarot are interested in. So things like card size. So, as I did before, I'm gauging against the Gilded Tarot, which is a deck that's very popular. So you can see that the Scapini is slightly longer in size, and it is fractionally, and when I say fractionally, I actually do mean fractionally wider. Now, I don't particularly find that the extra length on the card is an issue, because if I sort of, you know, I have small hands, but even so, I'm not having an issue holding this deck. It's not so bad. So again, our overhand shufflers shouldn't find an issue shuffling these cards. And I think what helps is that they are, yes, they're long, but they are fractionally, and like I say, I do mean fractionally. There we go. Sort of, like I say, in width it's fractional, length not so bad. Card quality, card weight. It's a bit hard to tell. I would say it's pretty much the standard. They are quite... The Scapini are quite a flimsy card. You could see by how I'm bending. So I expect that these would be very easy to crease if you weren't careful with them. However, the heavy lamination on the pre-2007 printed decks will help to save these cards somewhat, because they are pretty heavily laminated. Now, the only issue I have with heavily laminated cards is, like I've said before, it's the slip of them. I haven't sort of found the slip an issue as of yet. They're not that... They don't have that much of a slip that they're not manageable. But if I sort of... I mean, they're not really gliding too badly at the minute. They... You know, some card decks you put them down and the cards are travelling. I'm not sort of seeing that with this deck at the minute. And like I said, if you're worried about the cards creasing, they are... As you can hear, I don't know whether you can hear that over the seagulls. If you're a card crafter, you'll know what I'm doing. It's the wiggle test. But anyway, the lamination's quite good, as you can see. So that should help to save the card. The Scapini Tarot. Like I said, some people find some of the imagery to be quite negative. I'm trying to find... I think I'm doing these upside down for you, aren't I? Let's see, there is the Ace of Swords. There we go. Some people find the imagery to be quite negative, but I really think that is very much down to perspective. So I'm just going to pull in. There we go. Six of Swords. But I do find a heck of a lot of humour within the imagery of this deck. And I would even go so far as to say this is currently my favourite working deck. As you can see, the lamination is shining away. There's that sort of, I don't know, metallic thing going on. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this sort of presentation. I don't think there's anything else I can show you. Like I said, the card quality is very similar to the Gilded Tarot. However, the lamination is fantastic. You can feel it really, really good. Cautionaries would be, if you don't particularly like negative imagery, Google this deck before you purchase it. If you are not a fan of thin cardstock, be aware that this is. Be aware of the quality of lamination pre-2007 and after 2007 on the deck itself. So, hope you enjoyed today's review. Much love, many blessings. Bye for now.